And let's jump into it.
All right, cool. So, how's your day going so far?
Life's going great, as always.
All right, that's great to hear. You had an idea. Like that you sent in the chat, and I want to know what it might be, or well, I know what it is, but just tell the viewers what it is.
Alright, so a little update for the listeners on the podcast in terms of project. Basically check up Shadow Miner. He's got the managers that you wanted to take over for him, and then he's got all the free time to help work on this project to revive Byte. Now, the idea I have is regards to another platform that is Bits, which is a decentralized streaming service that will work alongside Byte. Alright, so in the chat, this digital remote idea, basically a standard remote control for your television. However, there's a key aspect. There will be exclusive features and functions that will work only with Bit streaming service on your television.
Oh, this is okay. This is for the Bits streaming service. Okay, got you.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I don't know why I thought it was for a bite, but okay. Okay, yeah, that actually makes sense. Like, I think maybe if you cleared it up with the other guy we were talking about before, maybe he'll understand.
Oh
I'm not.
yes, Froyo.
Yeah, Fro. I'll be honest. He changes his name so. He changes his name so often. It's like, bro, it's hard to keep track.
Who are you anymore?
I mean, I think he should just go by his real name, but that's just me though.
His life, his choice, you know?
That's true. I mean, like, i I'm only saying that because, like, I used to do that too. It's like I used to just go by a bunch of aliases until eventually I just settled on my name because it's like, okay, hey, this is my name. This is who I am. But
Yes,
hey, but
absolutely.
but hey, give him time.
Yeah, in fact, I'll give him 24 hours as of him sending that message. If he doesn't say anything until then, in fact, when the 24 hours is up for him to respond, I'll provide my own reasonings for why I suggest the idea to begin with and what aspects it has.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, as far as the digital remote for for like bits, I think that's a great idea. I mean, like it's a digital remote. I mean, because every not every service, but most services have it. You're able to use a digital remote.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's like I'd say this is pretty much no different than this is pretty much no different. It's just specifically for the bit streaming site.
Yes, and it's going to work very well with Byte in the future.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'll be honest. I do kind of wish that he said. I kind of do wish he built off. He built off what he said before, because he said I don't think that would be a good idea. I mean, I kind of wish he built off on why he thought it wouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah, I want to know too. That's why I said how so, because I want to give him a chance to explain himself.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna ask him right now. Like, what are your objectives to the idea?
Yeah. And the thing is, the last time I suggested something and he disagreed with it, I gave my reasonings for it. Like I was talking about in regards to showing adverts, but not just adverts, but I'm talking about adverts that's promoted by both brands and creators. And I told him that the last time a social media app didn't have adverts in it of any sorts, they only lasted a month and they were still in beta. This was not even publicly launched and there was in a month in and yet they were yet to launch. So it's unfortunate. However, there has to be sacrifices for the sake of maintaining costs and to allow the legacy and the platform to continue.
That's true. That's true. Hey, that's true. I mean, you have a great point there. But for the most part, I mean, I just wanna figure out what's going on in the news because there I know there's a lot that has been going on lately.
Yeah, so I saw in this news article like ages ago. I think I said this in the chat when I was just heading back from Switzerland. Russia announced that they're going to use cryptocurrencies as a way to make international transactions.
Huh? Interesting.
Yeah, and the thing is, when I said this, if Russia implements this, not now, but at some point in the future, and they go ahead with it, now it's not definite, but they could be set. At this point, no more they would have to rely on fiat related transaction services. Cryptocurrency is decentralized, first thing. Second thing, whatever regulation that has to be implemented on the blockchain with with other digital currencies, there has to be some kind of vote that everyone, and I mean everyone, has to agree on. I can't stress it enough. Everyone has to agree with it. If one person disagrees, it's not going ahead. So, yeah, of course, people will have their arguments for crypto in general because scammers use it as a scapegoat for their acts. But of course, it's a different story to how it's portrayed by scammers and how it's being used for people's personal financial gains and financial stability, personally.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree for the most part, and I'll say like for the and I would say like yeah, for the most part, I just want to see what Russia. I just want to see how Russia's gonna play this out, man, because like it can go one or two ways, really. With the cryptocurrency and all that. And frankly, I'm not gonna lie. Do you ever see cryptocurrency dying out?
Well, in general, no. But if you're talking about different meme coins, then yes, because they're quote memes. Of course, they're gonna die out at some point. But if you're talking about the big guys, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, apparently, Solana, Litecoin, yeah, those coins, they're here to stay. Whether people like them or not, they're here to stay, and its legacies will certainly continue, and its finances and the value it holds is gonna stay very strong compared to other fiat currencies.
I wonder, why do people make meme coins? I mean, do they just want to make money off the meme and then that's it, or
Yes,
is it just for like something else?
well, mostly the financial gain, because once you invest into something when it's just fractions of a penny, and then boom, it gets into the thousands, and then people sell off. That's it. That's what it's for. You buy it early. When it reaches thousands of dollars or pounds, you sell it off, and boom, you got your biggest earnings you could ever get in your life. And yeah, that's the end of that meme coin ish, I guess.
I'll be honest, I just don't see the point making coins out of memes. I don't know. It's just really stupid to me.
Yes, and it's also short-lived too. Will this even be a serious competitor amongst other cryptocurrencies in the future? Well, of course not, because where does it lie? What purpose, what role does it play in the sphere, in the environment that it's in? If it only exists just for one thing, that's it. It's done. But if it's part of another platform, maybe its purpose can be long-lived.
Exactly. It just doesn't have any longevity to it.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but let's speaking of longevity, what does have longevity in the service that you would suggest to people?
In the servers or service.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, in general, longevity, the concept of public transit, like taking the bus, tram, metro, that has longevity. Now, the vehicles themselves has a limited lifespan, but the concept itself of getting around without needing a car, that lives on forever.
That's true. That's true. So what else is in the news?
So there is something, but I just gone past it. I need to go back. It's all over the place. There we go. Something statistical. Shoot, I went past it again. Okay, now the iPhone 16 drops tomorrow. 13 features you don't want to miss.
It
Well,
does?
I so honestly doubt that, to be honest.
I thought the 16 was already out.
I don't know. I
'Cause
don't I don't pay attention to Apple these days.
yeah, I really don't either. I thought it was already. I thought that it's like they have so many iPhones, bro. It's like it's ugh.
What is what's out and what's not? That is the question.
Dang.
Well, anyway, in
Sweet.
terms of the features,
Wait, hold on. Sweden 2024, regular Sweden people. Sorry, Sweden 2014, regular Sweden people, and Sweden 2024, a bunch of Muslim women. Sorry, I'm
ah,
looking at a comparison.
all right, of course, because there's been an influx of Muslims coming into Sweden. Yeah,
Yeesh.
the rest is history in terms of
Dang,
accepting immigrants from abroad.
they're really trying to get the white race in Sweden out of here, man. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah,
But sorry, I got distracted.
that's
You
all right. So in terms of the features on the iPhone 16, number one, tap to pay cash. Again, that's a thing. I don't know what's so exciting about that,
I'm
but
not
okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I personally see a lot of people tapping to pay cash, and I'm just gonna say it. I don't trust it. I just don't. I don't tap to pay cash. I just pay cash, or I just use my.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, because it's not going to be long until physical money goes away, and then digital currency is all that's new and what is essential.
right, exactly, and it's like it's unfortunate, man. It's like I give it 5 years because ultimately speaking, it's like I believe in 5 years. It's like it's all just gonna be gone. We're not gonna be. It's like even with the physical money we have, they're gonna be like, I'm sorry, we don't accept physical money anymore. We only accept this and that, etc. Or but yeah, the point is they're trying to they're trying to put down the value of a physical dollar, and like obviously make their own currency, and they're trying to mark us. They're trying to mark us with their marks and with a number so that we can pay with our hands and with our foreheads. To the common person, that's revolutionary. That's exciting. But to the Christian person, it's like, okay, yeah, no, we can't do this.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, it's like we can't do this because it's like, yeah, it's like we know why they're doing it. It's terrible. It's unfortunate, and yeah, but it is what it is at the end of the day.
it sure is.
A lot of people aren't gonna realize this until it's too late.
Yeah, they don't know until it's too late.
And just crack open the Bible, man. Like you'll figure it out yourself. But
Yeah,
for the most part, I don't really know what's gonna happen. I'll give it until 2030. I
yeah,
would hope.
that's a big year.
Yeah, that's gonna be a huge year for everybody involved.
Yes,
And how old will I be in 2030? Almost 30. I'll probably be almost 30 in 2030. Actually,
same.
yeah, I'll be pushing 30 in 2030.
Dang.
Because I'm gonna be 22, 23, 24, 25. I'll probably be like 27 or 28. One of those two.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be a big year, and so pretty much in reality, we don't have that much time to prepare, but we do have enough time to prepare at the same time. So, you know, to anybody who's listening out there, prepare for the worst. But tell the viewers why it's gonna be a big year.
Well, in the WEF, the World Economic Forum, they announced something called Agenda 2030, and there are different initiatives in order to achieve that. I remember I had a guest on discussing all those initiatives. Now, I'm not gonna make listeners go listen to that episode, but I will say that what they are saying on the surface level it seems like a great initiative, like sustainability, harmony, and uniting, and sustainability again for the second time.
Did they
And
talk
yeah,
about? Did,
that's a core message of these
did they talk about?
elements, and
Did they talk about like a world religion too?
maybe not specifically in the initiatives mentioned by the guest I had on, but I think that was a separate discussion
Okay,
by
got.
someone else.
Cause yeah, it's like they're definitely going to eventually make a one world religion. I'm pretty sure I saw a video where they were making the one world religion church, and I'm like, bro, like I get how that could be good, but it's like you'd be deceiving many people if you actually that would be deceiving many people into thinking that they're worshiping the same God. We're not. We don't all pray to the same God. Everyone prays to their own separate gods. Everyone prays to a God. But the question is it the true God? Is it the one and only true living God? And it's not. Most of them, it's not. Like I'd say, there's a bunch of proof in the Christianity to prove that Christians worship the one true God, and everybody else they're pagan. They're pretty much pagan. But that's me, and someone else would probably call me pagan. The point is, it's you really got to do your research on and see which one is more reliable
Yes, because
because
there's
you can't.
yeah, there's many people have said many things on the same subject, and of course everyone has their own opinions on said subject.
Yeah,
So
but
there's no definitive answer. It's
yeah,
only
but
an outline.
I can't say that I'm lying because I'm not.
It's just a perspective.
It's an objective perspective to me, but yeah, it's a perspective to most people.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's like. And you said like from the surface, like agenda 2030. You said
Yes, 2030.
okay. You said like from the outside, like it looks great, but
Yeah, but there's always a price to pay in order to achieve them. Like how much land is going to take? What's the cost to execute them? Like it is understandable that this is going to happen, and I'm not going to prevent anyone from doing this. But if going ahead and not taking in the factors and the complaints people would have about this, well, they're going to find ways to go ahead with it anyway. Because if people don't know about it, and if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. But if people do find about it, and they do have complaints that's not being addressed, of course, people are going to be outraged. But I know that people involved don't want that to happen, because if there are complaints, then progress will be halted. And if progress is halted, we won't go anywhere much.
that's true. And I will say this for the most part, and it's like most people. I would say most people aren't going to care to a degree. To a degree, like there are people who are going to care, obviously, but there are people who will blatantly ignore it. Would probably hear about it, but they
But
won't.
unless it's about them, they're not going to care much.
Exactly. It's like unless it's about them and how it'll affect their lives, people won't care. Unfortunately, that's the unfortunate truth, but it's true. Most people just won't care about the truth, and because I've seen it. I've seen it online. I've seen it offline. It's like if it doesn't involve them, if it doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form, then they don't care. They'll just adhere to whatever demands that they have to adhere to in order to keep the money going, the money rolling, and make sure that they pay their bills, etc. But in reality, I say like, look, if you were really smart with your money, you would not be living, you would not be paying off someone else's mortgage. I would say do that temporarily, but ultimately just get up, get a place built on your own. Like get something that you can call yours. But although then you'll have some form of freedom, but you won't really be free. You have some form of freedom,
But not a lot.
pretty much, yeah. And you just won't have to pay someone else's mortgage.
Yeah.
That's pretty much about it. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's like even with the market of beasts, it's like even if you're free, you won't you'll still be a victim to that because it's like you'll rely on just going to a store, getting something, etc. I have hope though that there are certain stores that will remain open that will still accept money, real money, or just card, anything other
Physical
than
cash at best.
yeah, physical cash at best. Anything that doesn't involve me putting my palm to the thing. And or I have hope that there are people who would be gracious enough to you know give to people who actually need some food, but at the same time I wouldn't count on that specifically. So I'd say for people to survive, they gotta grow their own food. It's the only way. It's like you gotta grow your own food, maybe get some animals, like start a farm so you can survive off of that. But other than that, it's like you won't be able to survive until you won't really be able to survive like that unless you take the appropriate precautions to survive. But yeah, you're right. As for Agenda 2030, there's always a catch. Obviously, there's always a fine print to a plan. It's like, people, you'll hear it and you'll be like, oh man, this is great. But you'll never read the fine print.
There's always a catch.
Exactly. Or they just might tell you in plain sight. Play it off as a joke.
Yes, because everything must be told as a joke before things are taken seriously.
Right. I mean, even in certain shows, it's like, everything is told as a joke. Be like, ha ha, ha, and then like, ha 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 ha, that's funny until
Oh
it.
look, the moon landing's fake. No one will figure that one out.
Exactly. Exactly. And then people figured it out. The moon landing was fake. I don't think they've even ever been. All right, let's be real. They have never been on the moon. They have never been into space because there's a giant firmament over the Earth that is blocking us from going anywhere outside of this Earth. There's a giant firmament. Even Elon Musk, when he launched a rocket, bro, the rocket didn't go through. At least I believe that was from Elon Musk. I know that there was a rock. I know that there was a rocket that went like that got launched up into the sky and then it didn't break. It didn't go through the sky. Like nothing happened. There's a giant firmament over us. Even in the Bible, it talks about that. Even in the Bible, it talks about the firmament. It's like, yeah, we can't go into space. We can't go outside of this realm. So it's like, everything that has been said is a lie. Why did they lie about the space landing though? Why did they have to? I mean,
Well, the thing is, this was at the time of the Cold War. It's the United States versus the Soviet Union. The only way to reign supreme is to say, hey, we landed on the moon. What you gonna do about that? Can you do that? I don't think so. And then people say that the US won the space race, even though the Soviet Union had many firsts in many aspects besides the moon landing. But yeah, I don't. But I understand people don't want to talk about that, and they don't want to say that the Soviet Union had did many things first, because well, what happened in the Soviet Union, there was always a price to pay, and then the price was already paid in the early 90s, and yeah, the rest of that was history, and people will know, and if not, well, it's gonna happen. There's no arguments. Not many people are gonna know about it yet, but if they do, it will already be too late.
that's true. Pretty much, it's like people usually just, like find out things when it's too late, and I say most people are smart enough to know that there's something going on, and most people are waking up. Most people might not know. Most people might not know the truth of the world or like the truth of God, but for the most part, most people do know that everything isn't as they seem, and that is I can't say it's good enough, but in their case, it's
It
good enough.
could be worse.
It could be worse. Yeah, like they could still be asleep. I mean, even Faith kind of knows a little bit, but obviously, like she's you know ignoring it.
She's too cautious. She does not want to end up in the same fate as Assange or the Tate brothers. I definitely understand
I don't. I
why she would try to not be so open about it,
I I,
despite the fact she does know something about something.
I highly doubt we're gonna be in the same situation as the Tate brothers. Well, I mean, if we get big enough,
Yeah, but it's different circumstances, and of course, it would be too obvious by now, and not a lot of people have the same respect for them as they did after finding out, oh no, this Tate brothers got arrested by Romanian terrorism police. I don't know what the name is, but something had to do with terrorism. The department for Romania.
oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're still on house arrest too. It's been like what 2 years?
Yeah, it's at least 2 years now, and well no, I have seen a report. Not, it's not a major news source, but I'm not saying it's true. I'm only asking questions. But someone has said that the Tate brothers are free. They are free to go wherever they want to now. And I have seen I have seen a video that the Tate brothers saw Christians in Romanian protesting. It's like, yeah, I've seen that video with Andrew Tate asking Christians, why aren't you standing for your religion, and so on.
Hold on, what?
That I'm just asking questions. It's just what I've seen. That's just what I've seen.
Yeah, that's what I've seen too. But I think the situation changed. I think they are on. I think they are doing something to determine whether or not if they're going to go back to jail for 30 days or not, or will they remain on house arrest? And at that point, they're just trying to dig up something that they can like find against them. And I'm not gonna comment on it, but I'm just gonna say uh you know best of luck to them. That's all I can say. Best of luck to them.
Yeah, it's complicated.
It really is. It's like best of luck. I don't want them. I wish them the best. I don't want anything bad to happen, obviously. But I'm not like a hardcore fan or anything. I'm just like best of luck. Hey, I mean, but like hey, the Tate brothers, if they're innocent, they will prevail. But if they're not, then there you go.
They only had it coming.
Yeah, they had it coming. And yeah, I mean, I just hope that they're doing great. And
Yes,
yeah, like they helped a bunch of young men. Although one of their worldviews is very deceitful. I'm joking. Well,
I understand.
I'm not. But, I'm not, but I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways.
fair enough.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah. all I gotta say is like they seem like great guys. I wish they seem like great guys. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, for the most part, what else is in the news?
Well, I was going through down the first feature of iPhone 16 dropping tomorrow, as of last hour. I'm moving to the second feature, not to miss for the iPhone 16. I don't know how, but okay. ChatGPT in iPhone.
Chat GBT on iPhone, like built-in app.
Yes, like it's like the capabilities of ChatGPT is built in within the iPhone.
Wow, it's a crazy. That's revolutionary. We
Yes.
gotta tell the masses.
Tell the world! ChatGPT on iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. This is
Yes.
awesome. I don't care.
Neither do I.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, yeah. Anyways,
Over dramatic sarcasm.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, in all seriousness, though, it's like it's a decent, it's good, it's good, I guess. It's cool, it's cool, but that's all I can really say.
It
It's
is what it is. And it was what it was.
yeah, it was what it was, but it's cool, I guess. But it's not terrible. So
Yeah.
as long as it's not spying on us, then good, fine, whatever. But you know, obviously, if it's spying on us, I'm against it. I
I
rebuke.
would have my concerns.
Yeah, I'd have my concerns too. But like, for the most part, hey, seems pretty good. Seems pretty harmless. So
It's a, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, ChatGPT. What are your thoughts on ChatGPT? How has it helped you throughout your life? Or
Well, the thing is, ChatGPT, from what I've first seen as, it's very smart. Now, it's not going to be smart enough to do all the jobs that people could do now, but in terms of providing information, it's really good. I consider it to be the alternative search engine to Google.
yeah, really?
Yes, because the thing is, if you were to ask anything in regards to a situation that happened in life, if you ask Google, you get links to sources in regards to your query. But if you ask ChatGPT, it gives a detailed outline on what could be the case, why that could be the case, and how can you handle that case.
That's true.
Yeah. And also, they introduced different adaptable ChatGPT plugins where there are specific plugins that is utilized for certain aspects, industries or sectors. Like there's this ChatGPT plugin for social media captions. I asked it once, give me a caption for this post regarding to these subjects that I did in one video. It gave me a caption. It gave me actually a list of suggestions of the captions. I asked it, merge the most optimal suggestions, and then it gave me the most optimal suggestions based off the suggestions. And I used that as the caption for my last few social media posts. And it
Huh?
has done pretty well in viewing figures. Not so much engagement, but at least viewing figures is doing pretty well. It's important. It's the attention,
Hey,
at
that's true.
least.
That's true. Hey, at least you're getting the attention. But
Yeah.
unrelated. Not that I have a problem with this, but I can kind of see why some men don't like tattoos on women. I can see it. Not that I have a problem with it. Anywho, yeah. As for like the Chat GBT, man. I mean, that seems pretty helpful though. It seems extremely helpful, and I'm just gonna say, man, as long as it doesn't raise any like privacy concerns, I'd say it's pretty good.
Yeah. So moving on to the third feature on the iPhone 16 that's dropping is blocking apps with Face ID.
Huh? Okay, tell me more about that. Oh wait, before we get to that. So
Yes.
Dwayne Johnson is talking about Trump, and I just wanted to say this real quick. He would not be talking about Donald Trump in a positive light if he was still hated.
Yeah. I understand that because
I like Dwayne, but let's be honest.
everyone has their own views, and we may not agree with that.
That's true. Hold on. Sorry, gotta charge my phone real quick. I don't know why, but when my phone gets to a low percentage, like the volume turns low for some reason. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
It happens to you too?
No, not that would I know of because I barely notice it.
Yeah, for some odd reason that happens to me, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it
Uh, but
sure
it,
is.
but anyways, yeah, I like Dwayne. I like Dwayne, and I'm pretty sure he never even hated Trump. But it's like it's like yeah, I guess because it's safe to like openly support Trump now. It's like okay, cool. But at the end of the day, I understand he's a celebrity. He's just playing the game, like safely to like make sure he does not alienate any of his fans. Who I mean, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess, but because it's extremely safe to like Trump again, and the hate for him is just kind of it's not really as big as it used to be.
Yeah, it's not popular to hate on Trump anymore. There is a small amount of people that looking at the things that has been said about Trump, and people have been questioning why are people saying this about Trump, even though there haven't been links or sources that proves that's the case. And of course, even if there is some way that would definitely convince a majority of people, there will be a few people that are either loyal to the party that opposes him, or there could be people, and I know a few people that are like that. They they don't like to admit they're wrong about what they think and what they said.
Yet no one, I'll be honest, no one likes to admit when they're wrong, and it's very it's just prideful. But at the end of the day, it's like
It happens.
it happens. Yeah, it does. But
No,
jeez,
but
not gonna lie. A couple days ago, uh, there was this one woman who apparently went viral for doing something she calls walking bets. I think she's a sports content creator or something, and it's like I think she promotes DraftKings, and she talks about sports. She talks about betting on sports, but here's the twist:
yeah.
she bounce like every when she's because it's called walking bets. She bounces her personality. I'm like, oh, okay, oh, okay. It's,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
her. Yeah, it's like, bro. It's like she knows what gets the views though, but I'm like, it's kind of sad because it's like
yeah. If that's the way to get people's attention, that's just embarrassing. It
it.
just shows how low society has come to.
I mean,
That,
she seems like a nice woman too, but it's like it's just sad.
like, yeah, like what it takes. It's just embarrassing.
It's like the very fact that you have to do that to get people to listen to you. Well, dudes, let's be real. It's kind of It's kind of sad, but at the end of the
Yeah,
day, it's
it is
whatever.
understandable because if people know what needs to be done and it works, fair enough,
Yeah,
fair play.
yeah, that's true. Fair play. But at the end of, but other than that, that's all I want to say. You were like getting to the third feature of like the iPhone 16.
Yes, so third was blocking apps with Face ID. The fourth feature is redesign the control center.
Huh? What's that about? What?
On my iPhone, if you scroll from the top right, there's like different options and different buttons to press and different scrolls to move up and down in regards to accessibility and utilities. Like I have a button to activate screen recording, a button to lock my phone orientation. There's scrollers to adjust the brightness and the volume of the speakers on my headphones. There is a button to ping my Apple Watch. So if I lost my Apple Watch, a pinging sound like bang, 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 and once I find it, I could just press the button on my Apple Watch and say, okay, I found it, and just put my Apple Watch back on.
Okay, I guess that's useful. I'm probably never gonna get an Apple Watch, but that's useful.
Yeah, and there's a torch button, so if you want if you want to look for something in the dark, you press that button to turn on the torch, and yeah, you have enough light to see into the darkness.
Okay, so pretty much it's kind of like a basic feature.
Yeah, it's just a different graphic design. Like
Got you.
there's different graphics that's adjusted, and it looks different from previous annotations.
Ah, got you. Okay. So what's the fifth feature? If
You
if there
can control the iPhone with your eyes.
what?
I think it's referring to eye tracking technology, and I have actually tried this. I'm actually on iOS 18 beta right now, I use the eye tracking technology, and all I have to do is just look at the screen, and there's a little box that highlights what I'm looking at. To 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 accept or activate as if I was tapping on that button, I blink. I blink at what I'm looking at. It presses or activates the command or whatever pressing I want to press, and it just registers it.
I can already see a bunch of people just like saying, uh, I don't know, bro. It's like when I heard that, I immediately thought a of like an obese dude, just like instead of using his hands on
He
his
uses his
phone,
eyes because he can't be asked lifting his arms up.
basically.
Oh my
It,
gosh.
it's like imagine if he had his phone set up right there or tablet if they decide to put this technology on the tablet or even TV. If they decide to put this technology on the TV,
It's
and
encouraging laziness.
it really is. It's like that's what I was thinking. It's encouraging laziness, and it's like, and you can't be bothered to get the remote that's right next to you. So it's like
Oh my gosh.
you use your eyes, and it's like
Nah. No, absolutely not.
exactly. I mean, like it's one thing if your hands are full. Okay, fine. If your hands are full with something, then fine. Okay, then use your eyes. But this kind of does encourage laziness a bit. It's like it's like they want us to be lazy and secluded, and they do. They do. But it's like that. That's pretty much what I was thinking. It's encouraging lazy people.
Yeah, it sure is. Although that girl does ask me a question. Although that was until I realized there is this testing. This is like this testing phase where I look at a certain dot on the screen, on a black screen, and then I just try to shift what my eyes are looking at to look at the different colored dots at different parts of the screen to make sure that the camera is calibrating to the direction of my eyes. That question I was wanting to ask until I noticed that is, how would eye tracking technology work for blind people?
Huh. That's a good question, actually. How would that work?
Yeah, and the thing is, with the phase or the testing phase to look at multicolored dots on the screen, which is the camera calibrating my eye movement, I don't think that would work because, well, the thing is, I don't think I think it depends on the severity of the blindness. If someone's partially blind, it could work, but if someone is like full on blind, like they can't see anything, they just rely on the senses and spatial awareness, I don't think that would work.
You think it wouldn't work?
I don't think it would work for people that is just full on blind, like it's just full blur or just full darkness. But if someone is partially blind, it could work if they can manage to cope with looking at the dots on the screen.
Mm.
It maybe work with partially, but full on, probably not.
Yeah, I can see how that wouldn't work for a blind person too. It's like, and it's so the real question is like, how would a blind person use the phone exactly?
Yeah, but it's the severity of the blindness of the person is what will determine if it will work. Because the thing is, for the eye tracking to work, there's this test where I have to look at a colored dot on a certain part of the screen, which is just to calibrate the camera. The camera's checking my eye movement, and once the calibration for my eye movement is complete, the eye tracking technology will work. But if someone's unable to go through the process because someone was struggling to look at what's in front of their phone, because I think, yeah, I'm not sure how else to explain, but I think that depending on what kind of blindness and the severity of it, it may not work. But if it's not so severe, you can see parts of it. You could kind of see the colored dots. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe,
maybe.
yeah, maybe. It's a gray area, and there's so many complications. But hey, well, I'm just asking questions. It's just something that just boggles my mind recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting topic to talk about. It's definitely an interesting topic to think about. It's like how it could affect blind people, and ultimately we got to see like how it will in the future. Once it's fully out and fully accessible to the public.
Yes. In fact, coincidentally, and I know this is repetitive, but I actually had on a guest that works on a platform which allows accessibility to people with physical limitations. In other words, people that has some kind of disability, mainly whether it's visually or they maybe they're deaf. But the guest I had on that that's working on the platform that makes it accessible for people with disabilities, he was blind himself. I think he would use that platform himself. And he did discuss on my podcast about this platform, and I found it really interesting on what kind of technological enhancements and what he can do, and I'm very impressed by it.
Hmm. It's good whoa. I feel like if he probably had someone to help him, but whatever he's talking about sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think at some point he would, but yeah, I think the platform does sound good. I think with that platform, I think the guest I had on can actually go on about his day with the technology to help him navigate through the internet. So impressive, and I'd love to see how it would go at some point in the future.
Yeah, me too. It's I think it'd be really beneficial for him. So is there six features, or is there like a six or seven
Yeah,
feature?
there's 13 in total. We
Oh,
went through five, and now we get into number six.
oh,
Customize what people see when you call.
huh. So your name and all that stuff, or
Yeah, so you could either show your full name or not. You could show your picture or not. You have so many options to show what people would see when you try to call them.
okay. Actually, that could be useful. Actually, that I'm not even mad at that one because
Yeah,
hey, what if you were? Because it's this could be helpful for people who don't want to share their real identity with someone immediately, and also, or maybe a guy who's trying to call a girl, but he does not want his real name or his real picture to pop up, so he puts on an alias or something.
yeah, fair enough.
Or that one crazy girl that I'm not saying I would do it, but I'm saying other dude people would do it. Or just generally speaking, it's maybe, and I say maybe, uh there's just so many uses that you can use that for. What would you use it for, John May?
Well, for the last few years, well, that was until I got the spam call filter system by the alternative Google. There were scam calls and people trying to call me in regards to some kind of investments, a bank, not a bank, but in regards to some kind of banking system or whatever. If I was still doing that, if I was still getting that, I would use the ability to customize what people would see. I'm not sure if they said it specifically, but a different alias. I could have a different identity to a specific group of callers that are trying to scam people, as opposed to the identity that I have that people would know.
Hmm. So for the scam callers, they would get an alternative identity without not your real identity.
Exactly.
Hmm. That is pretty clever. I like it.
Yes, but I think that's kind of more complex than what Apple has provided. However, that could happen in the future. We just don't know when that will happen. It will happen when we least expect it.
It'll probably happen eventually. I can't I won't take that. I honestly don't see it not happening. I mean, it would be very great if it happened. It would make everybody feel safe, and for the most part, I'm just gonna say I'm looking forward to seeing that because it's probably going to be a thing.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so at number seven, all new math notes calculator.
What'd you say?
Number seven, as the 13 features you don't want to miss for the iPhone 16, an all new math notes calculator.
Huh. A notes calculator. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so you can just take notes while also doing math problems.
Yeah, or maybe it's just one thing. Who knows?
Actually, yeah, that would actually be pretty clever because a bunch of people use their phones, so it's hey, if you can take notes, I mean, then I would just make paper obsolete. But so I'm not again, I'm not in agreement to that. But for the most part, it's if you could take notes on one part and then do the math equation on the phone, then that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah. I mean, personally, for me speaking, I'd probably have to. If I were doing math, I'd probably have to write it down, just like see if I got it or not. It's actually been a while since I've done. I can do basic math. I'm talking about like in school wise. It's been a while since I've actually taken a math class. It's been like 4 or 5 years. Jeez, man. Because
Yeah.
I've been out of school for a while now.
Yes, you sure have been.
So it's like, but tell me what is your perspective on it though? Like, what do you think it might be?
Well, I haven't looked into it as much because I got a lot of things going on in my life. I think it could be a combination of a KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell.
KFC, a Pizza Hut, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Sounds like a combination of a three restaurant. Actually, huh? That wouldn't be bad, would it?
No, of course not, because if there's three separate places to eat, the question won't be do you want to eat or not. The question will be where do you want to eat? And I think that's actually more financially beneficial for all of the food chains involved.
Hmm.
Because the more options there is, the more people that will come. And the more people that will come, the more revenue that will be generated from those people.
That's true. That's true. I mean, like hey, each place would benefit. Would
Yes. Or maybe there's a group of friends that's evenly split on all of the options. They would go to one food chain first, and then the second food chain, and the food chain, and then they go bog off somewhere. I don't know.
they would go off somewhere. I don't know.
Yes, go on somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly speaking, man, it's like it is what it is, though. Hey, I would say I was gonna suggest like maybe the major like food chain restaurants could like be in one place, but at the same time, malls do. I think malls do that already. So it's like, would it really be a revolutionary idea? And on top of that,
No, no.
how would you really fit everyone in that building? Like you'd have to make an entirely. Actually, no. For every restaurant, I have an idea. Okay, so if you want to fit the major food chains and put them in one place, you have to build a huge building in every state. In every state, and then close down the the separate restaurants and no, that wouldn't work. No, no, it could work, but I don't think it would work. It's like close down everything in every city and just put it all in one building. That actually wouldn't work. No,
Mm.
yeah, that actually wouldn't work. It's good just the way it is. We don't need to complicate. We don't need to complicate it.
No.
Plus, if we want to go to if we want to go to multiple places at once, there's always the mall because they have the mall always has multiple food chain places. So I'll settle with that.
All right. Number 8, art script.
Smart script?
Yes.
I have an idea on what it might be about, but what is it about?
Smart script.
I have no idea.
I mean, is it
Okay. Since I am assuming because it's called smart script.
does it? I don't want to assume it has something to do with content creation because every time when I think of smart script, I think of okay, this is a script.
Something creative.
Yeah, something creative. For instance, if you're trying to make a video, then it's something that will help you remember everything that you want to remember. That's pretty much how I'm thinking of it when I hear smart script. So, what would you say it is? It's about
Something to do with handwriting. Because the word script is in the name. So something has to do something with writing words. So I think it has to there has to be some kind of intelligence on how you're writing or the handwriting.
That's a good.
Yeah, and also if you're writing in cursive, you can just drag and select all of the handwriting. You can copy it and paste it somewhere else.
Okay.
And maybe you can post it in a different place that isn't affiliated with Apple. And it could be smart enough to detect what word writing in cursive is which and convert it into standard text wherever platform it may be or app.
That's true. Definitely does sound interesting. Well, I mean, I'll be honest, all of them really sounded interesting.
Yeah,
But we'll
I
see.
think a lot of devices already have these features by now.
I think, yeah. But what else? What else is there?
All right, number 9, Apple's new Siri, glowing light on activation.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Neither do I. We don't know much about this.
What would your assumption be?
All right, so when activated, there's a glowing light. Not in the circle icon that you see with Siri, that you know it's Siri talking. I think something I've seen on Snapchat, for example, could be an example of what I think it could be. If you want to, just like you would turn on a light when you turn on your phone torch, the phone light on your torch at the back of your phone, Snapchat has something similar where the light comes from the edges of the phone screen. So you can still see yourself, but at the same time there's some bright light coming at you, making yourself more visible in the dark.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Definitely interesting thing to think about because, yeah, I'll be honest. Your guess is, yeah, I'll be honest. Your guess is better than mine because I got nothing.
fair enough.
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm just gonna. So yeah, I'm gonna just go by like what you say, man. Because like I legitimately got nothing here.
That's
So
alright, it happens.
yeah, what's the next feature?
Alright, number 10, cleanup.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but clean up what exactly? That is the question.
I mean, clean up your phone or like
Maybe clean up your storage.
yeah,
I
clean
think that'd be a good one.
yeah that would so you wouldn't have to like just keep downloading storage and cleanup apps.
Or delete apps that has so much data.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. I think that'd be really good. Just deleting apps that like have too much data that like will use up too much data.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, what else could it clean up?
Hmm. Well, what could, and they should, maybe clean up caches on existing apps. I'm not sure if Apple is smart enough to do that, or if privacy laws will allow it. But if all is justified and accepted, it's possible that Apple, your iPhone or the cleanup feature could be smart enough to clean up the caches on multiple apps that you have downloaded on your phone.
You think? You
Yeah.
don't say.
Yes, that's what I said. If privacy laws allows it.
Yeah. Man, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. All these features are interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them aren't really that interesting, but some of them are. And I personally just look forward to like hearing and seeing like the many seeing the many aspects of these features. I'm probably not gonna buy the iPhone 18. I'm gonna be honest with you, but sorry, iPhone 16.
Yes.
Yeah, iPhone 16. And if I do, it's probably gonna be somewhere around probably a couple months or a year from now. But that's just me. I'm not gonna lie. The moment I got a new iPhone, I wasn't really that excited about it. I'm like, okay,
Same old, same old.
pretty because like yeah, it really is just the same old, same old. It's like I get
They're just little tweaks.
yeah,
And it's still the same.
I get a new phone every like once a year. Actually, yeah, I get a new phone once a year. So it's like now that I just see the iPhones, I'm like, yeah, they're pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same thing, same formula, and it's cool.
But there's nothing significant that's different from the previous.
Yeah, exactly. It's a phone. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, just with different apps.
Yeah, and different tiny features added in that didn't existed before.
Yeah, and maybe some new emojis. I'm not sure, but
Yeah. I think I knew that for the longest time. I remember when I first had a hand-me-down phone from my cousin, which is an iPhone SE. I was alright with it, I guess. But of course, at some point I wanted a new phone and got the iPhone XR, 10R, whatever. That was the last phone I had, and I was quick to see that there wasn't much difference in the next model of iPhones to begin with, so I just waited like 3 to 5 years I only switched because I would only switch if there was a comparison that the newest model of the iPhone is either twice as better and or half as the size or at least twice as better in general than the previous model I had. So I went from the 10R to the iPhone 14.
Okay. So that's fair. That's fair to do. That's fair to do. I mean, like if you see a difference, a genuine difference, then then that's fair to do. Just switch and just get the better version. And for the most part, I remember my first phone. I had to share it with my sister, and even still, I didn't really care about the phone. I just wanted to play with. I just wanted to play with my toys. But I even asked. I'll be honest. When my mom and my aunt asked me what phone I wanted, I said I wanted Beyblades. I didn't want a phone, but they got me the phone anyways.
Okay. I remember I had to share the iPad with my sister when we were young. So one day I had the iPad, the other day my sister had the iPad, and there was one day that we both shared the iPad. So yeah,
I would say when I was younger, I was not interested at all. I was not interested at all. I'll be honest. Sometimes I kind of wish they listened to me when I said I just wanted toys, bro. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, that just lets you know that I was actually being a kid. I was a healthy kid because it's like I wanted to play with toys. Maybe
yeah,
like a year from now, I probably would have wanted a phone, but at the end of the day, I get it though. I kind of get why they got me one. But it is what it is, though. I mean,
and it was what it was.
exactly. So I'd say this: every phone is pretty much the same. I can't. I've even debated. It's like do I want a phone anymore, or should I just get a landline?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, when I have my own place, obviously.
All right, okay, that too.
I mean, if I do keep a phone, I'll probably just keep it in a separate room or something. No, maybe just keep all my stuff in a separate room and just use it and just have a specific schedule for when I'm going to use it, etc. But other than that, it's like I really just want to embrace what's around me. But what else is there?
All right, number 11. This is my favorite. Messages via satellite.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. So pretty much you can message. I believe you can message people off the grid as well, right? Even without Wi-Fi.
Yes. Yeah, you don't need Wi-Fi anymore to message people. Just go outside, so long as the satellite is out somehow, and yeah, you can just message off the grid.
That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is.
Yeah. And
I
you know
like.
what, actually? This is something I was thinking for Byte Revival. In terms of how to connect to the app, instead of relying on Wi-Fi cellular, just rely on the satellite for connection. Now, question on how that's possible is going to take a while, but hopefully at some point, people wherever they are in the world, they can connect to Byte, they can use Byte, or even as well as the streaming service, without needing Wi-Fi and or cellular connection.
Hmm. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Like I would say, for the most part, man, that's pretty cool. Like I like the idea of satellite messaging. Although you have to ask yourselves what is the catch?
There's always a catch.
There
It's
really
just
is.
too good to be true.
It really, it's always too good to be true. So, but other than that, it seems like a pretty good idea.
It sure is, yeah.
I'm trying to debate if I want to get this retro disc that has a bunch of game systems, like 210 consoles on it, and like a bunch of games on it. And also, can I use it for my team? I'll decide later. So, what's the 12th?
New look for app icon.
I kind of get that, but what is that?
So the app icons for the apps that you get with Apple devices or iPhones. If your phone is on light mode, you'll see the apps as it is right now. But when nighttime hits and it just switches to dark mode, if your system allows it, there's a there's an alternative dark version to those apps that will happen during the night, or if you switch to dark mode
Huh.
on your
Okay, so the app icons change based on the day and night.
well, if your system if you want your phone to do that, if you wanted to choose between light or dark, if you go with dark, the app icons will look very different to how the app icons would look like if it's on light mode.
I mean, it's decent, but all right, it's whatever.
It's not impactful. It's just
It's not.
something new, glitters and glamour.
Yeah, it's not impactful at all. But it's just like showing off, I guess.
Yeah.
But what is the You said 13, right?
Yes, this is the final one.
All right.
Series new text box.
Wait, say that again.
Series new text box.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Well, something about Siri and a text box. You can type something, and yeah, this is as broad I can be, whilst also being as open I can be about it.
It'll probably be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pretty much just see what it is. I mean, I believe it. I think it will be interesting. It sounds interesting, but we just got to see what happens next. Other than that, is that us?
Yeah, that's the episode, I guess.
All right. We just